Hello everybody, my name is Christopher Bannon with the National Weather Service here in Slidell, Louisiana, and this is going to be your 7-day forecast for Thursday, April 21st, 2022, all the way through Wednesday, April 27th. So here's a real quick overview of what we're expecting for the next 7 days. It looks like a pretty quiet forecast, actually, finally for our area. We do have some minor coastal flooding, mainly on coastal Mississippi and the east-facing shores of Louisiana. And then it looks like this weekend's going to be a little warm. However, it looks like we're also going to be dry, so that should keep the heat index in check. And then the next system we're waiting on is a weak cold front Monday night into Tuesday, which could cool things off, but we're really not looking at much rain with it. So real quickly, here's a look at the forecast for the next 7 days. As you can see right now, through the remainder of today and tonight, and probably all the way into Saturday morning, high pressure is going to control the region. And as you can see, that big H sitting over North Carolina right now, high pressure dominates all of the southeastern United States and pretty much all of the eastern U.S. And the next system hasn't quite taken shape yet, but it should start to develop in the plains. And as you can see, a lot of rain across northern plains and even some snow on that backside. So the next thing we're watching is that cold front that's moving through the plains on Sunday. And as you can see, as we get into Monday morning, that cold front's going to be just off to our northwest. And high pressure out ahead of it's really to keep moisture from turning that significantly. And then you can see the big high pressure behind the cold front. Well, that cold front's going to move through during the late Monday evening hours and possibly overnight Monday into early Tuesday morning. And it's going to push to the south with some cooler, drier air behind it. However, with that front, normally we would see some showers and thunderstorms. We're not really anticipating much with that one. But as you can look to the north, high pressure is pushing into our area. There's that other cold front that's moving through Kansas, Missouri, Illinois, Indiana. And that's going to try to kind of slide down to the south. It's probably going to kind of fizzle out a little bit, but it's going to keep the area kind of on that cooler and drier side of things. So we'll be, see cooler temperatures of probably below normal lows, and then highs will probably be near normal. So that was the forecast. Now we're going to take a quick look at our hazard outlook across the nation. And as you can see, there really isn't much highlighted. There is some heavy rain, even severe weather, and then heavy rain and snow well north of our area. But if you look across the lower Mississippi Valley, there's only that little highlighted area of brown, and that's for the drought that we've been dealing with. That's continuing to impact much of South Louisiana and even into portions of Southwest Mississippi. So the question is, are we going to improve that drought any? And as we mentioned earlier, that cold front coming through Monday night into Tuesday. However, there is not going to be an awful lot of moisture for it to work with. And then even there's some other things that come into play that look like most of the rain is going to go northeast of our area and southwest of our area, and it's kind of like split. And that's why we're only forecasting for the next 7 days anywhere from no rain to just under half an inch. Most of the area is probably going to see less than a quarter of an inch of rain over the next 7 days. So with the lack of rainfall and the drought conditions that we have been dealing with, we're expecting to see those continue. Now in this image right here, you can see I have two maps. The smaller one, the one that's in the upper right, that is what the drought monitor had last week. And as you can notice with this week's drought monitor, conditions have improved a little bit, and that's because of the rainfall we got this past Sunday night. But the other reason why last week's looked as bad as it did is because they run this data on a Tuesday morning. So even though it doesn't get released till Thursday, they're not including the Tuesday night through Wednesday night into their current week monitor. And that's the problem, is we got a good bit of rain on that Tuesday night last week. So adding that in, it makes things look a little bit better. However, you look at the contours, all they did was pretty much lower everybody one criteria. With the lack of rainfall we're expecting over the next 7 to even 14 days, there's a good chance that the extreme and severe drought is going to extend back to the northeast, impacting more of southwest Mississippi and possible coastal Mississippi with next week's issue. So the one other small impact we've been talking about is the coastal flood advisory that we have out right now. There is some minor coastal flooding that's occurring mainly across those problem areas of coastal Mississippi and into southeast Louisiana, mainly looking at like Waveland area, Shell Beach, maybe even some water around areas near Pascagoula. But otherwise, we're really not anticipating big impacts from it. It's just going to be more of a nuisance coastal flood problem that's likely going to continue at least into Saturday, maybe into Sunday. Our advisory right now only goes through Saturday night. However, it'll probably be extended later tonight for most of the day Saturday, and we'll see if we need to extend it into Sunday. So let's take a real quick look at these tides. Again, I'm going to go over the areas that we mentioned a little while ago. The Waveland, Shell Beach, and Pascagoula. And as you can see, the lower left is Waveland. And if you see the HAT, MHHW, MSL, and MLLW, those are what we consider, there's possibly, some people will call them datums. The MLLW means mean low water, and then the MHHW is mean high water. And we kind of use the MHHW when we talk about surge during hurricane season, but we also use it more when we're concerned with our coastal flood issues. And as you can see, it's about 1.5 feet to 1 to almost 2 feet above that MHHW level, especially for Waveland, and it's more closer to 1 to 1.5 for Shell Beach and Pascagoula. And as you can see, those levels stay pretty high through through Saturday, and then Sunday, again, they're going to be high, but it may start coming down. A lot's going to depend on how strong the wind is. So as you can see, those elevated tides are going to at least continue for the next 72 hours, maybe even longer than that. So let's take a real quick look at kind of the extended forecast. This is for the next 6 to 10 days. And as you remember, that cold front comes through on Monday night into Tuesday, and then that other front that's well north of us will weaken. However, it's going to keep us from really warming up, not necessarily reinforce, but it should keep things kind of on the drier, cooler side next week. And you can see the rainfall on the lower left. We're either equal chance of near normal, above normal, or below normal. And I'd be leaning definitely below normal right now. But if you look at the temperature on the upper right one, it's got a better chance of seeing below normal temperatures. Now, that's likely going to be due to the morning lows. Given the dry air we're expecting, we should cool off pretty well overnight. So those morning lows are going to be, a little chilly for some people, but pretty cool for our area in April, especially late April. However, those highs are probably going to be closer to normal. So adding closer to normal highs and then lower than normal lows, it makes the kind of daily temperature below normal. So one last thing I'd like to bring up is those storms that we had late Sunday evening and Sunday night. As you can see, quite a few reports across the Lower Mississippi Valley and the north central Gulf Coast. However, again, most of these storms were right on the edge of our area. We did have a few wind and hail reports across southwest Mississippi. Had a few kind of strong storms move through southeast Louisiana, but we really missed, which was a good thing, missed those really strong storms. They had hail that was probably close to baseball size in Vicksburg. And as you can see, this couple storms, the same storm with a few tornadoes in southeast Mississippi. Now, there's also a few tornadoes, I believe, in Alabama that this map's not showing right now because it hasn't really been updated. But you see all those blue dots. There was a lot of wind reports. And Pascagoula, I believe, recorded a 74-mile-an-hour wind gust. Looking at the radar, there was a really impressive, what we call bow echo that moved through Mobile and into the Gulf of Mexico. And that's what led to a lot of those wind reports. And as you can see, it was right on our border. You move that storm about 20, 30 miles west, it goes through all of coastal Mississippi. And instead of Alabama dealing with it, we're dealing with it in coastal Mississippi. So those storms were pretty close, and it did provide a lot of damage, especially hail and strong winds, but even a few tornadoes. And again, this was Sunday night across much of the lower Mississippi Valley and portions of the north central Gulf Coast. Well, that's pretty much it for the forecast. Again, here's a little summary of what we discussed. Looks like a pretty quiet forecast across the region for the next 7 days. We will continue to deal with minor coastal flooding through Saturday, possibly even through Sunday. However, those drought conditions, even though they improved slightly over the last week, they don't look like they're going to improve anymore and probably could worsen over the next few weeks, especially with that cold front we're expecting Monday night into Tuesday, dealing more just drier, cooler air and not really bringing much in the way of rainfall. So thank you very much, everybody. Have a great week, and we will see you again at least on Sunday, hopefully not before that. Have a great day.